In the quiet town of Ravenswood, a sense of unease settled over the community. Whispers of strange occurrences spread like wildfire, eerie shadows in the night, unexplained footsteps, and chilling whispers on the wind. Detective Sarah Walker, known for her skepticism, was assigned to investigate these unsettling reports. As Detective Walker delved into the reports, she uncovered a history of unexplained disappearances and paranormal happenings that had plagued Ravenswood for decades. The stories seemed far-fetched, but the fear in the eyes of the town's residents was undeniable. Walker's investigation led her to the town's abandoned mansion, a decrepit structure shrouded in mystery. She sensed that the key to unraveling the town's secrets lay within its decaying walls. The mansion had a chilling history. It was once owned by the enigmatic Delacroix family, who had vanished under mysterious circumstances. Locals believed the mansion was haunted, and tales of apparitions and malevolent spirits ran rampant. Undeterred by the stories, Detective Walker entered the mansion with her team, determined to uncover the truth behind the unsettling occurrences that had plagued Ravenswood for generations. In her pursuit of the truth, Walker enlisted the help of a renowned paranormal investigator, Dr. Jonathan Hartley. With his array of specialized equipment and expertise in the supernatural, Dr. Hartley joined the investigation, bringing a sense of both curiosity and caution. Together, they embarked on a journey that would challenge their beliefs and push the boundaries of what they thought was possible. As they delved deeper into the mansion's history, Walker and Dr. Hartley unearthed journals, letters, and diaries that revealed the Delacroix family's descent into darkness. The family had dabbled in occult practices, summoning forces beyond their control. The echoes of the past seemed to reverberate through the mansion's walls, as if the very essence of the Delacroix family's actions had left an indelible mark on the property. As the investigation progressed, the manifestations grew more intense. Objects moved on their own spectral figures appeared in the corners of their vision, and an overwhelming feeling of dread permeated the air. Walker and Dr. Hartley's skepticism wavered as they confronted forces that defied rational explanation. With each new discovery, the line between the natural and the supernatural blurred, forcing them to confront the possibility that the mansion was indeed haunted by malevolent entities. In a chilling turn of events, a seance led by Dr. Hartley to communicate with the spirits seemed to awaken something sinister. A presence manifested, its malevolence palpable. The investigators felt as though they were being watched by eyes that existed beyond the realm of the living. Fear tightened its grip, and the line between reality and nightmare became increasingly thin. As the investigation escalated, the town of Ravenswood became enveloped in an eerie silence. The air grew heavy with an otherworldly stillness, and the once vibrant community seemed to wither under the weight of the supernatural. Residents reported disturbing dreams, unexplained scratches on their bodies, and an overwhelming sense of dread that clung to them like a shroud. The diaries and journals revealed a chilling truth. The Delacroix family had summoned a malevolent entity that was bound to the mansion, cursed to torment the living for eternity. The investigators realized that the only way to break the curse was to confront the entity head-on and put an end to its reign of terror. As the nights grew darker and the manifestations more sinister, Walker and Dr. Hartley prepared to confront the entity that had haunted Ravenswood for generations. In a climactic showdown, Walker and Dr. Hartley faced the malevolent entity within the mansion's decaying walls. The air crackled with an unnatural energy as the entity's form twisted and contorted, its rage manifesting in chilling displays of power. With every ounce of courage they possessed, the investigators sought to banish the entity back to the darkness from which it had emerged. The battle between the living and the supernatural waged on, as the fate of Ravenswood hung in the balance. The battle against the malevolent entity raged on, the very fabric of reality warping as Walker and Dr. Hartley fought to banish it. The mansion itself seemed to turn against them, walls shifting and corridors twisting in a nightmarish dance. As the investigators fought to maintain their footing in a reality that had become distorted, they drew upon their determination and the strength of their unbreakable partnership. In a moment of desperation, Walker and Dr. Hartley realized that the only way to defeat the entity was to offer a sacrifice, a willing act of bravery that would counteract the malevolence that had taken root in the mansion. The decision weighed heavily on their hearts, but the safety of Ravenswood and its residents compelled them forward. In an act of selflessness, they faced the entity together, offering a sacrifice that hinged on their unyielding bond. As the sacrifice was made, a blinding burst of light erupted within the mansion. The entity's twisted form contorted and writhed in agony, its grip on reality weakening. Shadows receded, and the mansion's malevolent energy dissipated. But the victory came at a cost. Walker and Dr. Hartley emerged from the confrontation battered and changed, their belief systems shattered by the undeniable reality of the supernatural. In the aftermath of the final battle, Ravenswood began to heal. The once ominous mansion stood as a silent sentinel, its malevolent presence finally lifted. The town's residents slowly emerged from the shadows of fear, their lives irrevocably changed by the horrors they had witnessed. Walker and Dr. Hartley, forever linked by their shared experience, became local legends, the investigators who had stared into the abyss and emerged as survivors. As life returned to a semblance of normalcy, a sense of cautious hope settled over Ravenswood. But whispers of the supernatural lingered, carried on the wind like fragments of a haunting melody. The town's history became intertwined with the legends of the Delacroix mansion, a reminder that darkness could be confronted but never truly erased. The investigators had left their mark, their journey a testament to the resilience of the human spirit against the unknown. Years passed, and the memory of the malevolent entity began to fade. The mansion, once a symbol of terror, was sold and renovated, its dark history buried beneath layers of fresh paint and cheerful decor. Yet the entity's legacy remained. Strange occurrences returned, subtle echoes of the past that hinted at a lingering presence. Objects moved of their own accord, and whispers of long-forgotten secrets stirred in the night. Walker, now retired from the force, received a cryptic letter, a plea for help from a resident of Ravenswood, who claimed that the entity's grip had resurfaced. Driven by a sense of duty and a lingering curiosity, she returned to the town she had hoped to leave behind. Dr. Hartley, now a recluse haunted by his encounters with the supernatural, reluctantly joined her. The investigators, drawn back by a force they could not ignore, found themselves facing a new nightmare. As Walker and Dr. Hartley delved into the town's renewed turmoil, they uncovered a horrifying truth. The entity had returned, more powerful and vengeful than before. Its malevolence had grown, feeding on the fear and uncertainty that had taken root in Ravenswood. The investigators faced a race against time to confront the entity once again, lest its darkness consume the town entirely. As the entity's influence grew, the line between reality and illusion blurred. Walker and Dr. Hartley were plunged into a nightmarish landscape, where the laws of nature bent and broke, and the boundaries between life and death became fluid. Isolated and tormented, they struggled to distinguish between the entity's mind games and the remnants of their own sanity. In a final confrontation, Walker and Dr. Hartley uncovered the entity's true origins, a malevolent spirit that had been bound to the mansion by a curse born of centuries-old rituals. Its thirst for vengeance had driven it to manipulate the living, using their fears and weaknesses as conduits for its power. The investigators realized that breaking the entity's hold required unraveling the curse's intricate threads and confronting the darkness that had spawned it. As Walker and Dr. Hartley delved deeper into the curse's origins, they uncovered the tragic story of the Delacroix family. A tale of betrayal, revenge, and an ancient pact with dark forces revealed the source of the entity's malevolence. The investigators realized that the only way to banish the entity for good was to confront the curse's creator, an ancestor of the Delacroix family who had sought power at any cost. Armed with the knowledge of the curse's creator, Walker and Dr. Hartley journeyed into the heart of the mansion's past. Guided by cryptic clues and ancient texts, they ventured into forbidden territories where time itself seemed to twist and warp. Their confrontation with the curse's creator was a battle of wills and ancient magic, a test of their determination to free Ravenswood from the grip of the malevolent entity. As the battle raged on, Walker and Dr. Hartley faced a heart-wrenching choice: to sacrifice a part of themselves to break the curse. The entity taunted them with their deepest fears and regrets, exploiting their vulnerabilities to gain an upper hand. Amidst the chaos, they clung to their bond, drawing strength from their shared journey and the unbreakable trust they had forged. In a climactic moment, Walker and Dr. Hartley channeled their combined strength and chanted incantations passed down through generations. The mansion trembled, and the entity's grip on reality faltered. As the curse's creator was stripped of his power, the entity's malevolence waned, its form contorting and dissipating into the darkness. Ravenswood was finally free from the haunting that had tormented it for generations. The aftermath of the battle left its mark on Walker and Dr. Hartley. The toll of their encounters with the supernatural had left them scarred, their lives forever changed by the horrors they had faced. The town of Ravenswood, however, began to heal, the shadows of fear gradually lifting. But as Walker and Dr. Hartley reflected on their experiences, they realized that the line between the living and the supernatural was more blurred than they had ever imagined. Years later, Walker received a letter from a distant town plagued by inexplicable phenomena. The familiarity of the unsettling occurrences drew her attention, and she recognized the echoes of a darkness she thought she had left behind. Haunted by memories of their past battles, Walker and Dr. Hartley found themselves drawn into a new mystery, a cycle of malevolence that seemed to transcend time and space. As Walker and Dr. Hartley embarked on their new investigation, they discovered that the entity's curse was not isolated to Ravenswood. It had woven a web that stretched across generations, ensnaring innocent souls in its relentless grasp. The investigators realized that breaking the cycle required confronting the entity once again, this time armed with the knowledge of its true nature and the determination to end its reign of terror for good. The battle against the entity was fiercer than ever, its malevolence amplified by the centuries of suffering it had caused. Walker and Dr. Hartley fought not only to protect the present, but to free the past from the entity's grip. As the very fabric of reality threatened to unravel, the investigators drew upon their experiences and the bonds they had forged to challenge the entity's dominion. In a heart-stopping climax, Walker and Dr. Hartley confronted the entity within the mansion's twisted corridors. They faced their deepest fears, confronting the darkness that had haunted them for so long. In a moment of sacrifice and redemption, they shattered the entity's hold, banishing it from the mortal realm forever. The mansion trembled as the curse unraveled, its malevolent legacy finally laid to rest. As the entity's presence faded, Ravenswood and the towns it had touched began to heal. Walker and Dr. Hartley's journey, though marred by terror and tragedy, had ultimately brought an end to a cycle of darkness that spanned generations. They knew that the echoes of fear and the unknown would never truly vanish, but they also understood the power of unity, courage, and the resilience of the human spirit in the face of the supernatural. And so the story of Echoes of Fear concluded, a tale of horror, redemption, and the enduring struggle between light and darkness.